Dev, where we know that we don't start off being fantastic at everything. We learn by trying again. So today we're gonna continue the journey through LeetCode easy problems, and yeah, let's see where we get to. Awesome. So yeah, welcome back to Try Again Dev. Let's see what we're solving today. Okay. All right, so here we have our easy problems. The easy problems that are left are dumped into the spinner wheel or manually typed in. Let's see what we're solving. Okay, let's go stack. Cool. All right, so the stack problem, oh, valid parentheses, cool. All right, let's just make sure the volume's working, all is good. Okay, so what do we got here? Okay, you're given a string consisted of parentheses open and closed in 3 types. The input string S is valid. Okay. If and only if every open bracket is closed by the same type of closed bracket, open brackets are closed in the correct order, and every closed bracket has a corresponding open bracket of the same type. Okay. Return true if the string given is a valid string and false otherwise, so we're returning that boolean. Okay. All right, and then so we know that s dot length, s is going to have some value. It's not going to be empty. Recommended time space, we want of n time of n space, so it's linear and is the length of any given string. Okay, and lucky us, because we're on LeetCode, it tells us not only that this is an easy question, but that this is a stack question. So that means to me that, hey, let's use a stack, right? And then in JavaScript, I don't know that there's a stack built in. What I usually use personally is an array. And so like I was taught that like a stack is like a stack of plates in a plate dispenser where you put the plate in and the plate you put in on top is the plate you take out first. Whereas, as we know, a queue is like a line where like the thing that goes in first comes out first, like line at a bank teller or something like that. So when I mock up stacks, like if you write a full stack class implementation, you can have like enqueue, dequeue, peek to see if there's things in there. I personally just use an array for that. And so I think of it as like if the array is empty, that's like saying this stack is empty, you put stuff in from the back, so like array.push, and then you take stuff out as well from the back, so I believe that is array.pop, and like whatever you set equal to that is going to be what you have left. So yeah, I'm gonna build like a big stack just by building an array, or an array for handling the parentheses essentially. So yeah, let's start, I guess. I mean, if I were in a real interview, I'd ask some questions like, I don't know, I guess if there were any like interesting edge cases, like I'd discuss those with the interviewer perhaps. I think they give a good amount of information here by saying open brackets are closed in the correct order. And then every closed bracket has a corresponding open bracket of the same type. So like if, for example, we start with one of these and then we get a close of this shape first, then that's not like the matching type. So, okay. Well, let me look at some of the stuff like we can outline here first. So we know that if like whatever code block we do for the truth test doesn't return, sorry. So if we're gonna put a bunch of cases that could like trip the string, let's say, if it's a faker of being a valid palindromic parenthesis situation, or it's not having to be palindromic actually, valid parenthesis situation, and then if all of those tests are false, or if all those tests pass, then we would return true. So we could set that kind of as our like, if all else fails, we'll do this thing. We can set our stack, fake stack here. So let stack equal array. Okay, and then what are we gonna do here? We're gonna, like, if this where's the notepad here? If this is like a valid string coming in, then all of the opening parentheses are going to be put into the stack. So we could say like for let item in, or like, I almost want to call it like letter of string, and then let's console log that to make sure that works. Console log letter, then come back up here and put our parentheses in properly. And I just like to do this because for arrays, you could do for in loops, which count like the position of where you are, and then for of loops, return the value. So I just like to see if that works for strings, I suppose, as well. Okay, yeah, great. So awesome. So we get this situation here. Yeah, so we are consoling the value of the things, whereas like what I was saying is for a for in loop, I think it would bring back like the number, like item position 0 and 1. Yeah, cool. So that's just a little neat JavaScript to do, trick, tip, trick, etc. Okay, so let's see. So if letter equals one of these opening situations, this, or I guess letter, oh, this need to be in this, yeah. I wonder if we could do it in one thing like this, or this. Oops. If we could build an or statement like this, but there's one way to try. Yeah, no, okay, that's cool. So we'll write it out. If the letter, which it isn't a letter as we know, but like, let's just make that item just for clarity. Yeah. Great, so we get the first item, and instead of console logging it, we're gonna put it into the stack, so stack dot push item. Okay, so like if we have an opening parenthesis, we're gonna push the item. Okay, if we don't have an opening parenthesis, we want to compare whatever we get, which is presumably a closing parenthesis, to whatever is the last item in the stack. So else, we said we were looking for the last item in the stack, let comparison equals stack dot pop, which is giving us the last item of the stack. And then if comparison equals item, then we'll continue. AKA continue is to like go to the next for loop item in the wider for loop situation. And then, sorry. So I'm gonna put this in these brackets like this, and then else. Yeah, 'cause it's like we want to like make sure that all of the things get compared. Also, the stack.pop removes the item from the stack. So we want comparison, aka whatever we take. Oh, geez, okay. I'm realizing that this comparison isn't going to be right here. So yeah, if the comparison is stack.pop, we wouldn't want to do anything, but if it's the matching thing I have to do. But then if it's not, we'll have to return false. Okay, so All right, let's build out our three cases that we would expect here. So if comparison, aka the item from the stack, which would have been these things. So comparison would be one of these. An item will be the opposite. So let's do that. And thank goodness we're in LeetCode and not like a blank IDE. If we were, we would just have to manually select and replace these things. Like our tricks and tips like Control D wouldn't work in that case. But if comparison is whatever, and then we could do and let's see, maybe I could do, yeah, okay. Comparison equals whatever it is, and item equals, and then in here we'll put the opposite thing. So like, for this case it would be this, for this case it would be this, and for this case it would be this. Oh, thank God. Okay, auto formatter. Apparently, you know, you're not supposed to rely on those things for interviews, but like, good golly, is it nice when we have it. Yeah, anyway, if the thing, or the second parenthesis matches the first parenthesis, then we go back to the top of the for loop. Continue is like a break that stays within the for loop, but like ends this case. And then if it isn't equal, we'll return false. So and then we have return true if we get through every single case without something breaking or returning false. So let's see that. Okay, cool. So let's see what's going on here. Okay, so we know that we pushed this into the stack. So like here, console.log comparison item. See what's going on. Okay. Okay, so let's see what's happening here. Why is this continue isn't working? So okay, well, yeah, continue isn't working for whichever reason. That's fine. What we could do is like, instead of the current comparison, we could just say like not equals for these things. So like if it isn't a perfect match, that'd be return false. And then if it is, and we get through all the cases, then we would return true. Okay, there's something going on with the parentheses, which is kind of funny and ironic, actually. So what's happening here? This is for here, this is for there, this is for here, this is for there. Okay. Key press there. And then, yeah, this should be okay now, at least with the parentheses. Okay. Yeah, it looks like we have written that one. Uh-oh. Okay. So we have a problem. So we're gonna go back and fix that. But first I wanted to just check what does continue do to make sure. Continue JavaScript. Yeah, I mean, it's really important that we know what all our tools do. before getting into like an interview or something. So loop through a block, but yeah, skip the value. So I guess it would be skipping anything else. Oh, okay. So I guess if we had like a if block with a continue, then we wouldn't need to write else. We would just write whatever the else we wanted to happen just under there. That's nice. Okay, cool. Now I know how to use that properly. And you might too. Yeah, never be afraid of looking stuff up. And like, if you're in an interview, you can like ask if you can look stuff up too. Okay. Interesting. So this would be our comparer, this in this case. Wait, so if this is our comparison item, because we are console logging like comparison and item. So yeah, comparison is this, or in this case, and item is not this, or comparison is, yeah, item is not this. We should be returning false here. Okay, well, I'm gonna, oops, let's see. I'm gonna return this code back to how it was because that way we do the strict equals check for everything and we can use continue properly. Yeah. Okay. Right? Yeah. Oh, and strict equals. Maybe I should do that. Maybe not. Just because I know character codes could be a whole thing. Yeah, so like if this is correct, we'll go back to the top of the loop, else return false for all cases. And then if we get through this whole for loop, we can return true. So let's try that and see if that like works for some of those weirder edge cases. No? Okay, my output is false when we're expecting true. But if comparison is blank and item is blank, let's see what we're getting when we a little closer. See which is coming up as false and why. Okay, we're getting true. Okay, I'm wondering if it's because like the thing is empty. Yeah, because definitely true and true is true. Oh, you know what's a really interesting thing I learned? Yeah, instead of this return false statement with the return true at the end, what we could also do is like, we could do a return statement on this whole thing so that, like, if this is true, it just returns itself, essentially. So that way it's true or false. But let's see if that would work. No, because it would just work on the first item or like the innermost thing. So let's keep thinking through this here. Comparison is this and item is this. Comparison is this, blah, blah, blah. Da, 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 da. Let's see. Okay, got another parentheses error here somewhere. For sure, these. Oh, it's just saying that if wants a condition. Okay. So, like, here's another thing we could do. If, or we could let Boolean equal true, right? We can, oops, give all s's the best, or the benefit of the doubt. We can return Boolean. So if comparison is this and item is this, blah, 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 we can continue, or if not, Boolean equals false, right? And then this will make us go to the next bit of the loop, and then sorry, just a little aside there. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I'm just curious if this will work. All is happening here. Interesting. Still coming up as false. So it's definitely saying that this isn't the case, but this is coming up as true, so what is happening? Let's look at the whole thing and see what's going on here. What's going on? Oh, sorry, I'm supposed to be pretending I'm in an interview. Okay, yeah, so it is coming up false. Let's try to find out why. So, console log. Let's see. Because it's an OR case, so I think that it should be pulling whichever one is true out of the OR case, but I mean, I might be wrong. Let's see what there is to see here. Why it is as it is. False, false, true, right. Okay, so okay, well, I guess one of the questions I had was like, are we properly ending where we should be ending, which is yes. So that solves that. Okay, all right, just put away the Distractor Mobile 10,000, aka Snap-on. Okay, but let's see what we have here. So, let item, we have true, true, false. Why is it that this is not working with the OR case as we're expecting? Comparator. Let's Google if and or blocks, I'm not really sure. Script. Yeah, because like obviously that little area there is what is coming back not as planned. Oh, I guess I'm not writing the OR operator properly. Oh, interesting. If A and not B or B and not A, how interesting. Yeah. That's cool. Syntax. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I just have the or written incorrectly. The more you know. Great. So, oh, a singular item. Do, 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 do. Oh yeah, because they did say it could have from one to some number of things, yeah. So if there's an odd number of items, we already know it's going to be false, so we could do a checker for that up here. So if s dot length over 2, the remainder, which is the modulo sign, 1, then we can like say the boolean is false. That's a cool test though. Yeah, so the modulo thing is the remainder. So it like divides s dot length by 2 and gives you the remainder. So like if the remainder is 1. Oh, how interesting. Okay. Okay, so wow, these are great test cases, and I'm surprised that I didn't think of them. My questions weren't thorough enough. All right. Okay, well, I returned true here because they both got put into the stack. So I guess it never got to this else case here. So then what we need to do is we have to make sure that stack is empty at the end of the for loop so that like anything get put into the stack is removed from the stack. So I mean what we could do is like an if block like this, or we could do like an if and block. So like if boolean is true and stack dot length, aka anything in the stack, it's 0. So like everything has been removed compared with taken out. Hey, all right. So that has gotten accepted. Yay, go team. Thank you for coming along on the journey. At Try Again Dev, the motto is what one of my old band teachers used to say, which is practice doesn't make perfect, practice makes progress, perfect practice only makes perfect. So right now we're in the practice makes progress phase, so that way we can get it done nice and smooth, because slow is smooth, smooth is fast. But yeah, thank you for joining along here at Try Again Dev, where we try again until things compile and get accepted for LeetCode in this case. Eventually, hopefully, we'll branch out to other sorts of code problems, but yeah.